Hi, my name is Ben Golub. Welcome to the Q1 2023 Storj Town Hall. I'm very pleased to be joined today by John Gleason, who is our Chief Operating Officer. I'm Ben Golub. I'm the CEO of Storj. The Town Hall is a really important part of our ongoing commitment to transparency as a company. We're a company, a community, and a globally distributed network, and we believe that transparency is key to everything that we do. So we maintain open code, open development, open data, and hopefully an open dialogue. This is now our 19th consecutive quarterly town hall. And while most of the information in these town halls is now readily available through other data sources, such as the one shown below, this is a great opportunity for us to connect with our customers, our partners, our node operators, open source contributors, and provide a comprehensive story of what's been going on at Storj. Before we begin, I need to provide a forward-looking statement. So this document contains forward-looking statements about our product, network, and business. The development, release, and timing of any features or functionality described for our products remains at the sole discretion of Storj Labs. The information herein is not a commitment to deliver any material, code, or functionality, or make promises about anything related to our business, and should not be relied upon in making purchase or other decisions. Okay, with that out of the way, a little bit about the agenda for today. We'll start with a brief executive summary. I'll talk about customers, partners, and growth, provide a quick update on where our product and roadmap are going. And finally, John will talk about things of importance to our node and community members. All right, so at a high level, Q1 was another great quarter for Storj. Of course, the world threw a lot at all of us in the past few months. We've had pandemics, political uncertainty, interest rates, inflation, FTX, SVB, a bunch of other three-letter acronyms, some four-letter words that we all said, but we kept going as a company because fundamentally the need for fast, scalable, secure storage at the edge continues to grow at an astronomical pace in both traditional markets and in new markets. And Storj saw continued momentum in both traditional and new markets. In the past, you may have heard us speak about Web 2 and Web 3 use cases, but now we're thinking that those terms may be a little bit limiting. In traditional markets, we're seeing traction in areas such as video distribution, video production and post-production, backup, scientific data. And in newer markets, we're seeing traction in fields not only Web3 related, such as blockchain fasting, but also very exciting for us as the underlying storage layer for a vast number of AI and ML related use cases. Fundamentally, Storj is great at getting large files securely and quickly to people around the world, and that's what's driving our growth. If you're producing a video that needs to be edited by teams from Burbank, Bollywood, and Berlin, we're a great use case. Store one copy with us, and it's able to get quickly to those teams all around the world. If you're generating large data sets that need to be analyzed in San Francisco or Sao Paulo or Singapore, we're a great solution. And if you want people to analyze, develop, and train on AI learning sets in Durban, Denver, and Dortmund, we're a great solution as well. So we're gratified that we've seen customer growth in all of these segments. And we're gratified that we've won awards just in the past quarter in both traditional and in new markets. And we're very excited by the partnerships we're seeing across both markets, which ensure that end users get complete solutions that really serve their needs. We began Q2 by signing the biggest customer in company history, and we certainly hope to announce more. And our focus in Q2 is really more of the same: more growth, better product, better performance, addressing better security needs, and fundamentally seeing growth both on the demand and the supply side. So with that, here are some of the numbers that we track as a company. We generate revenue for ourselves and our community based on the amount of data that's stored per month and the amount of data that's egressed per month. And as you can see, we've seen a steady growth in both. Paid data is up about 28% quarter on quarter. Paid egress is up 13% quarter on quarter. And one of the most important numbers that we track is net expansion, which measures on average how customers grow and shrink. Customers who store data with us tend to store more data every month. And while egress is a little bit less predictable, most customers serve more data every month as well. And that translates into growing revenue per month on average from our paid customer base. And our number of 1.16 month over month is world-class. It basically means that customers who were with us a month ago are on average spending 16% more with us this month, and that continues every month. And that's been a trend that we've seen over the past year. To be world-class, most people would be very excited to have a net expansion rate of about 1.2 on an annual basis, and we're seeing things that look like 10 to 16% on a monthly basis. And this takes into account customers who increase usage, customers who decrease usage, the almost non-existent set of customers who churn. We lose almost no customers. And so this is really a very exciting and very important, and perhaps one of the most important metrics for the health of our network. Of course, we also track the quality of our service. We look at all of the abilities, stability, availability, security. And as you can see, the network is healthy on all of these dimensions. And of course, Any information about the state of our network and the health of our network is available through our public data API, as well as by third-party sources that aggregate that. So let's put some names behind some of these numbers. You can see some of our customers in newer markets on the right and traditional customers on the left. The diagram on the right is an example of an integration with Valdi. Valdi is a company that has a similar model to Storj, but for GPU compute. They've aggregated underutilized GPU capacity around the world for customers who are doing AI and ML workloads. And being able to utilize spare compute cycles around the world is great, but it doesn't work that well if you also can't get rapid access to storage in all those locations. And if you're doing AI, you need access to training sets, you need language models, you need to be able to both bring down and push back up data. And Storj, because of what it does in terms of the way we distribute data globally, enables excellent performance anywhere in the world, even if you don't know in advance what that location is going to be. And so you can see that we've announced similar integrations with partners such as LivePeer for distributed transcoding. We've won prizes for integrations with Hugging Face, which is one of the leading projects in AI, and Replit, both of which are billion-dollar valuation companies in the AI space. With Hugging Face, the demo is text to video to Storj. So you can type a simple set of instructions like generate a video of a horse running in anime style. The AI toolset grabs source material stored on Storj, generates the video, and then publishes back to Storj for training and distribution of that video. Of course, most video production doesn't start with text to video. It happens in the traditional way. The diagram on the left is for a video post-production use case, delivered in conjunction with our partner at Tempo. Again, modern video production tends to involve teams working on things such as sound, effects, and video around the world and around the clock. And you want to be able to store one logical copy of a file that can be accessed, changed, pushed back up for the next team to work on. And that, again, is where we excel. Of course, you don't just need naked storage. You want it delivered in conjunction with an overall solution tailored for the market and for the needs of media professionals. And again, that's what great partners like Tempo and GB Labs and others provide. We're also very excited this quarter that the actions that we're taking have not escaped the notice of media professionals. You can see here some great press that we've gotten both in the traditional media space as well as in more forward-looking spaces. And speaking of the traditional media market, we just got back from the NAB show. And if you're not familiar with that, it is perhaps the most important event in the media and entertainment space. There are over 65,000 attendees. We ourselves gathered over 500 leads. We had events and meetings and demos with great partners like GB Labs, Tempo, and Hammerspace. And to cap the event off, we won an award for Best Product of the Year in Storage. And while winning such an award with a fairly conservative audience would be a great win for any company, I think this is one of the first, or perhaps the first time that a globally distributed and decentralized company was able to win an award like that. So we were very excited here at Storj. Another big and exciting thing that happened this quarter was we got good at quantifying our green story. We knew that Storj had a great green story, but we actually wanted to put numbers behind it. And we produced a 30-page paper and quantitative model that is currently undergoing academic review. And in case you don't feel inclined to read a 30-page paper, the summary is that everything that we've done to build an economically sustainable model to deliver enterprise storage also makes us environmentally sustainable. We can profitably cut a zero off our customers' cloud bills and cut a zero off of their carbon footprint. Storj doesn't build, power, or cool new data centers. We don't buy or power drives, and most of the capacity in our network comes from node operators who are also utilizing spare capacity on existing or repurposed drives. And one of the most environmentally damaging things in storage is mining rare earth metals like neodymium and manufacturing drives. And these activities tend to happen in multiple different locations around the world involving transport. And then once that manufacturing is done, of course, a lot of energy is spent powering a drive. And if we can produce a system where the drives are already in use and they're already being powered and spun, that not only makes us very economical, but it also makes us very green. In fact, most of the drives in the world are less than 30% utilized. So there's a huge opportunity in addressing one of the biggest and fastest growing sources of carbon output by making data storage green and economical, and doing so together. And now on to some of the product progress that we've made this year. As I mentioned, we have an open development process. So at any point in time, if you're really excited and want to understand what's going on in our roadmap, what's in process, what's under consideration, what's already been delivered, you can do so online. If you want to make contributions or see what our issues lists are, that happens as well. One of the big highlights of the quarter is that we did a set of enhancements that dramatically improved latency for files, especially small files. So as we discussed in the last town hall, Storj is already doing great global throughput, Now we've added the ability to have great latency as well, which means we're a good solution for the time to first byte. We're a good solution for small files as well as for large files. And that, of course, opens up new use cases for us, which we're very excited about. And speaking of performance, I just couldn't resist putting this performance graph from last town hall up again. It shows the time to download a 1 gigabyte file from Storj versus a hyperscaler. The vertical axis is the time it takes to download, and so lower is better. The horizontal distance is the distance from the West Coast. Our experiment here was to take the same 1 gigabyte file, hosted in the West Coast region of a large 3-letter hyperscaler, stored in our US satellite as well, and then see how long it took to download it from locations all around the world, from Singapore, Bangalore, from Berlin, etc. And you can see that we, Storj, have consistent performance globally, but we're also significantly faster once you move a little bit away from the data center. And that's a really important thing, because for most hyperscaler solutions, if you want to get fast and consistent global performance, you need to make multiple copies and store them in multiple locations. And that, of course, adds expense. And if we're moving to a world where, a video could be viewed by somebody anywhere, data could be analyzed by somebody anywhere, AI models could be run by people anywhere, you want to have fast global performance without having to store lots of copies. And that's what we do well. And as I mentioned, we just implemented a lot of performance enhancements. This test was done last quarter. So with the new results that we're hoping to get in, we think that storage line is going to come even lower, delivering even better performance around the world. So with that, let me turn things over to John Gleason to talk about community. Again, thank you to our customers, our partners, our team members, and most of all, the community for making all of what happened this past quarter possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Now I've got a few topics to cover for the community. Well, it's been a great quarter for community engagement. We've seen a lot of customers and even some of our storage node operators at events, both in Web 2 and Web 3 throughout Q1. We saw tremendous customer and partner engagement at both ETH Denver, NAB, and Consensus, as well as a number of smaller events throughout the country. We'll be welcoming a lot of new partners and customers as a result of these conferences. Conferences continue to be one of the best sources of leads, because when you meet somebody and you can actually show them Storj DCS, it's an amazing aha moment for customers when they first see the product, because when you talk about it, sometimes they don't believe it, but when they see it for themselves, they can see the true value that it brings. To find out what will be next, please watch for announcements on the website, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. And if there's one in your area, please find the Storj team, find our booth, and meet up with us. If you have questions, or if you just want to connect with us, please do. We continue to make progress on the updates to our economics incentives for the storage node operators. Of course, the goal of the changes this year are refining the economic incentive model to make sure that it reflects current and future network growth and evolution. That means making sure that we have a long-term sustainable solution that works for storage node operators and for storage. And this has to be something that storage customers can get the value. Storj can be a sustainable brand that lives on and contributes to the open source project, and enables a lot of different opportunities for new business models, new storage satellite operators, and independent satellite operators as well. And just ensures that healthy equilibrium. So we don't have too much supply and too much demand. We have the right amount of services, and ensures that long-term future and growth of the network. And also make sure that we can continue to deliver that high-performant, durable, low-cost, and environmentally friendly solution. In terms of next steps, we will begin introducing the gradual changes this month in May, with the goal of achieving sustainable unit economics by the end of this year. So you can plan that we'll be maintaining the payout overall rate for storage, and tend to only reduce the payout rates for egress, audit, and repair traffic. We're going to be reducing the payout rates for non-production satellites and focusing on synthetic load first as we roll through an iterative process. We'll be taking small steps while monitoring the health of the network and the response from the community. Of course, if customer data growth isn't sufficient to maintain a consistent aggregate payout, we will add additional synthetic load just to make sure that we keep the total commitment to the payout at an appropriate level to make sure that the network is sustainable. If you want to get involved, we always need feedback from the community and our storage node operators, especially as we're working on this economic model update. So please join the community and engage with us. Join the Twitter Spaces. Follow CTO Jacob Wilby and myself on Twitter for regular conversations and updates, and join our Twitter Spaces and respond to the proposals that we put out in the forum. We're going to continue to provide ongoing suggestions and feedback to the community, and we expect that the community will give us the same. And of course, the most important thing that you can do is spread the word that Storj TCS is a reliable, secure, private performant cloud object storage that's 80% lower cost than AWS, and that customers should definitely give it a try. Thank you again to the community of storage node operators who make the service possible, and to our community of contributors to our open source project, to our customers and partners as well. Hey, make it a great quarter, and we'll talk again at the end of Q2.